Hey YouTube, Rich Brandt here, and I'm coming at you today with some video footage of two new state parks in the state of Missouri. And these were both purchased over the last few years. The first one we're going to see is Echo Bluff State Park. That is a state park that was developed by the Missouri Natural Resources Department in Shannon County, and it's located on Sinking Creek, which empties into the Current River. So this park stands off of the Current River probably by close to a mile. So they have really overdeveloped this park. They have completely redone the landscape, tiered. They turned the mountains into tiers and have drainage ponds for draining water and things like that. There's a huge lodge that completely blocks the view of Echo Bluff. And it was actually used to be a Girl Scout camp, and now it's a state park. In between, it was owned by Jimmy Thibault, who held some concerts there and called it Schwagstock. And after some alleged drug violations, the property was confiscated and it ended up being auctioned to the state of Missouri. So that's Echo Bluff. And the Current River State Park is a complete opposite, total opposite. I mean, Current River State Park was an old retreat for a company, I think it was called the Alton Company. And I remember floating by there probably 20 years ago, and it doesn't really look any different than it did then. So they have not done much there. And we're going to see that in the clips here. I'm going to go ahead and watch the video, and I'm going to narrate it from there. What we're looking at here is the entrance to Echo Bluff State Park. Then after you pass the campground, which we'll look at in a minute, you'll see these cabins. There's probably 7 or 8 cabins, plenty of parking here. And once you get past the cabins, you're going to see this giant lodge. I mean, the lodge totally obstructs the view of the beautiful Echo Bluff. So when you're in the lodge, I'm sure you have a spectacular view of Echo Bluff, but when you're not in the lodge, you can't see it at all. So it's all brand new, everything in there. They have lodge rooms, I think, although I'm not sure about that. And it looks like plenty of handicapped parking. And again, the Echo Bluff is behind the lodge there. Once you pass that, you're going to see this holding pond, and retention pond was put in there because they modified the landscape so much. Now, moving down the road, you're going to see these condominiums. These are huge condominiums with giant glass windows on the side, and I'm presuming from the top floors you can probably see Echo Bluff, but I know from the bottom you would have a view of the lodge. So there's another view of those cabins, and we're driving by the lodge from the upper road. And again, you can see how they've tiered the entire property. So they've modified the mountains, basically. I think we're leaving. That was another retention pond, and here's some more condominiums. And we're leaving the park now. And actually, we're going to go over Sinking Creek, and we're going to take a look, just a quick shot of the campground, which has basically no shade at all. So I don't think I'm going to be staying here until the trees grow, which is going to be a long time. I'm not going to camp there. It's all in the wide open. So there you can see they've again created a terrace and built the campground on that. Now what we're looking at is the Current River State Park, and basically here they've done nothing except made some
improvements, I guess, to the road. All the road was very steep and rock, rock, gravel rock all the way down about a mile or more down to get down here. And I was in my camper van. I tell you what, it was a little scary. I won't be taking it back. We got down there fine and back just fine, but I'm not taking my camper back there anymore. It's too steep. Now you see that's the lodge back there. It's basically, as I said, it's in the same condition it was 20 years ago when I floated by. Now you cannot see the current river in this footage, but I can tell you it's just right behind those trees. This is like a trap shoot or some other sport uh, grounds where they play some kind of sport. I think one was trap shooting, and I can't remember what all they did here. But yeah, it's there's really not much they've done to this. I think it's because it is up against the National Park Service property, and there's a lot of rules they have to follow as far as upgrading the property. I suspect they're going to be leaving it in the pretty much the same condition that they found it. They may remodel the inside of the lodge, but the outside is probably going to stay the same. And basically, you get to the end of this road and turn around, and then you head back out. There's really not much to do here. Be a nice place for a picnic, I guess, but in my opinion, it's not even worth the trip down here unless you end up stopping here on a float trip or something.